You're in what I call the fog zone. It means you built a real business, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, maybe more. The numbers say you're winning, and you cannot tell if that's actually right or not. You're driving fast, you cannot see the road. So every decision feels almost like a guess, and you are exhausted, not because the work is hard, but because driving blind is always exhausting. Let me ask you a few things. Have you ever stared at your P&L and felt like it's telling you nothing actually useful, or your bookkeeper sends you reports every month and you don't open them because they don't answer any questions you actually have? Or you can't tell which customer is making you money and which one is costing you money, so you treat them all the same. Or you've hired 3 people this year and somehow you're more buried, not less. Or you keep saying, I just need to focus, but you don't know what to focus on. Or you've gone on 3 vacations this year and worked on every single one of them. Or you've been in the same revenue number for 2 years and you cannot figure out why. If any of that sounds familiar, you have what I call fog zone fatigue, which means your business is too big to run on instinct and your data is too messy to make decisions with. So you're stuck in the middle, working harder and harder on a windshield that just won't clear. Here's the thing most founders at 2 million to 10 million don't realize. You don't own a business, you own two. You own the business you can see on your P&L, and you own a smaller, more profitable business hiding inside it that nobody on your team has ever pulled out and looked at separately. And you've been managing both of them as if they're the very same business, which means the thing making you the most money is being run on autopilot, and the thing draining you is being run with all of your energy. What you're feeling is the gap between two versions of yourself. There's the founding self, the one who built this business on instinct, on hustle, on personal relationships, on knowing every customer's name and every vendor's birthday. That self got you here. She was the entire operating system, and she was the right operating system for $1 million business. She is not the right operating system for the next one, because the business that does double what yours does today does not run the way yours does right now. It doesn't run on instinct. It runs on data. It doesn't depend on one person who can see everything. It depends on an entire team that can see the numbers that matter and make decisions without you. That version of you I call the liberated self, the founder who works on the business instead of in it, who makes decisions from data instead of gut, who can take a vacation without a laptop. The fog zone is the middle. The founding self can't see her way through it on instinct anymore. The liberated self isn't built yet, so you're stuck. Not because you're failing, but because you've outgrown the engine that made you successful in the first place. Picture it like this. Your business is a car with a foggy windshield. You built the car, you know how to drive, the engine is good, but you cannot see the road, so you drive on memory, you drive on instinct, and it works until the road changes shape, which is exactly what happens between the $2 and $10 million mark. The road changes. Your instincts were calibrated for the old road, and nobody told you the windshield was the problem. I know this because I do this for a living. Last year, I sat down with an $8 million home decor company, family owned, above average margins, zero debt. By every number, they were winning, but they'd been flat at 8 million for 2 years. The CEO told me, I don't know what's missing. That's the fog zone talking. I pulled their data inside one aggregated line on their P&L, was their highest margin channel, 49% margin, best business they had, hiding in plain sight. The team couldn't see it because it was blended in with everything else. I pulled it out, built a dashboard, and what came into focus was $777,000 of profit improvements and a clear path from 8 million to 11 million. Already there, already in the database, just behind the fog. A different client, a product company, a candle company, it was different size, same pattern. They had $99,000 a year in organic Google traffic coming in for free, converting at 3.5%, which is double the industry benchmark, but nobody knew it even existed. They were cutting their marketing budget to save money while a channel was quietly handing them revenue every single day. Different client and equipment dealership. Their top sales rep was producing more revenue than anyone. Founder loved him. I ran the compensation math. That rep was costing the business 50% more per dollar of margin than every other rep. The most productive person was also the most expensive person, and the founder had no way to see it because the compensation lived in one system and the margin lived in another. Same pattern, different industries, different sizes. The information was always there. The fog was always the problem. The fog zone shows up in 4 places. Always one of these 4, usually 2 or 3 at once. 1, channel fog. You don't actually know which of your channels is the most profitable because they're aggregated on your P&L. 2, customer fog. You don't know actually who is your best customer, who are your dormant customers, who's about to churn, who's about to spend triple if you were asked. 3, cost fog. One line item is 30 to 50% bigger than it should be. Sometimes it's compensation, sometimes it's vendors, sometimes it's shipping, sometimes it's tool nobody uses. There is always a leak, and I find it on basically every engagement. And 4 is decision fog. Your team can't make decisions without you because they can't see what you can't see. So everything funnels back to you, which is why you're tired. Here's the part that's hard to hear. The longer you stay in the fog zone, the better you get at driving in the fog. You develop instincts, you learn to make calls without the data, and the team admires you for it. Other founders admire you for it, which means the better you get at running a foggy business, the harder it becomes to ever clear the glass. Because the fog has become the thing you're proud of surviving, and nobody around you is going to tell you it's still fog. So I built a thing called the Profit Growth Plan because the founders I work with kept saying the same sentence, just in different words. I need to see clearly again. It's 4 to 6 weeks, 2 to 4 working sessions on Zoom with me. I get inside your financials, your customers, your channels, your team structure, and your costs. I separate what's blended. I find the highest margin business hiding inside yours. I find the leaks. I build you a 1-page dashboard with the 5 numbers that actually steer your business. And I give you a 12-month operating plan you can run starting Monday morning. You walk away with the picture, the numbers, and the language for what you've been feeling for the last 2 years. It's $15,000. It pays for itself in the first 90 days. And if you ever decide to sell this business, well, my partners say that they will credit your feedback because it is that important to have when you are exiting your business. I'm not a coach. I don't sell a course. I'm not going to teach you a framework and send you home. I sit in your business with you for 4 to 6 weeks, and I do the work. The case studies are on this page. Look at them for yourself. Couple things to be clear about. This is one-on-one. I work with one founder at a time. There's no group, no cohort, no community, no app. I'm not going to motivate you. There's no transformation language in this engagement. We're going to look at numbers, find what's broken, decide what to do about it. That's it. And if you want to keep running your business in the fog zone, that's totally fine with me. A lot of founders do. They get to 5 or 6 million just on instinct. And some even get further. I'm not going to tell you you have to fix this, but the founders who book the call tend to be the ones who already know. They felt it for a year. They just want someone to confirm it and show them what's actually there. Here's the thing about the fog zone. It doesn't get better on its own. Every quarter you stay in it, the business gets more and more complicated. You add more channels, more people, more cost lines. The fog gets thicker. And the longer you wait, the harder the unblending gets. Most founders wait until they're trying to sell, and then they find out the business isn't sellable because nobody can see what's in it, which is the most expensive version of this problem. The cheaper version is fixing it now while the business is still small enough to clearly see through the fog. If any of this landed, the next step is a 30-minute call. Just you and me on Zoom. We walk through your business together. I'll tell you what I see. You decide what to do with it. No agenda from me, no pitch in your inbox, just the work. The button is right below this video. Book a time that fits your calendar and we'll talk. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're in the fog zone. And there's a version of this where 3 months from now, the glass is clear. You can see the road. You're making decisions with confidence again, not because you worked harder, but because someone finally helped you see what was actually there.